What did all these moves yesterday tell you?
Well, it tells me that teams identify. These teams do like I do when I go shopping, Skip. I know what I want. I've identified what I needed. I know the aisle that they're on. I go get it, and I'm in and out of the grocery store in somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. These teams in free agency has identified their guys early on, a Hargrave or a Jimmy Garoppolo and this one and that one. They've identified the guys that they need for their teams. They've got them, and boom. Jerry Jones right now, he pushing his cart up like, do I need produce? No, I don't think I need. Do I need fruit? No, I don't think I need. Do I need milk? Do I need eggs? Do I need laundry powder? He don't know what he needs.
No, so because he's saying, well, wait, I can wait until draft night, and they'll deliver it to my door.
Exactly. Okay. And then all the good stuff get picked over, and then he'll sign a guy that was the 48th guy on somebody else's roster and try to sell you that he's the next coming of Emmitt Smith or Deion Sanders.
Right, and his name will be Bob Smith, and you and I will say, who?
Exactly. Skip, I'm surprised that they gave this kind of money to Hargrave, considering that they turned down offering DeForest Buckner. You remember Buck, after they won the Super Bowl, they traded him for a number 1 pick. He went to Indy. He has 24.5 sacks. He was a first-team All-Pro his first year there. He did make the Pro Bowl last year, so he's been to 2 Pro Bowls. If I'm not mistaken, he's younger than Hargrave. But Hargrave did have a monster year last year, 11 sacks for an interior lineman. It's very good. Pair him with Eric Armstead. You still got Nick Bosa on one side. You got Ekubon. You got some pass rushers. You got Ken Law. So you see what the 49ers are doing. They say, and we got Fred Warner in the middle. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think they lost Jimmy Ward. But they're saying, look, we can sacrifice a little bit on the back end if we got these dogs up front to go get your quarterback. So it looks like to me the 49ers and a lot of these other teams have identified their guys. Skip, they've been working. It wasn't like the Cowboys at the Super Bowl. It wasn't like they were prepared for something. So they should have already identified needs. And if there was somebody, but Skip, you know Jerry ain't gonna spend no money in free agency. You get upset every year when you know that man ain't gonna spend no money. He told you he ain't gonna spend no money.
Not since Brandon Used Car. Remember him?
Yep.
Victimized by Odell, the greatest catch ever.
Yep.
That was the last time Jerry plunged into the free agent market.
Right.
And I assume he ultimately regretted that choice.
Correct.
He builds through the draft. He controls and runs the draft. He has final say on every draft pick. So, Shannon Sharpe, I had to sit back once again as free agent, opened frenzy yesterday. And what's the first big move that I see? Wait a second. The best defense in pro football, overseen by your Shanahans. Obviously, Kyle is the head coach. Mike is the overseer, the advisor. They said, we identify the best interior defensive lineman. Is named Javon Hargrave, and he's on the team that won our conference in large part because our quarterback got hurt was it the opening series? Or I think it was the opening series in the playoff game at Philadelphia, right? That's why they won. I don't know, would they have won the game if Brock Purdy had stayed upright the whole game? Very possibly they would have. Their defense was really good, and it just got really better because Javon Hargrave was an Eagle who had 11 sacks last year as an interior pass rusher. It's hard to get 11.
Right.
It's just there's too much.
And I believe as a whole, their 49ers defensive line is better than what the Eagles had. When you look at Bosa and you look at Armstead and you look at Ekubon.
No, it's just better. And it just got better, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to sit back and think the balance of power just shifted even harder to the West Coast. And that's the team that knocked my team out of the playoffs, not just this year, the last 2 years.
Yes.
They came to our place, and then we went to their place. And we lost both games pretty convincingly. Even though we only allowed them 19 points, we barely managed 12, and we never seemed to be in either one of the games to speak of. We never really had a shot where you said, this is a level playing field. It wasn't. The 49ers were better both times.
Correct.
So I'm saying, well, wait a second. They got Hargrave, and we got, wait a second. We contacted Bobby Wagner. We contacted That's a breakthrough. We actually made contact with him. You know and I know that the conversation probably went something like this. Bobby, we are willing, if you will pay us the veterans minimum, if you will pay us, we will allow you the opportunity to come play for America's team and to reunite with your former coordinator that you loved in Seattle, Dan Quinn.
Right.
This is your opportunity, but you're going to have to pay us the veteran minimum because we're America's team. And you could wear the star on the side of your helmet.
I know you said that tongue in cheek, but they're definitely talking about discount.
Right.
They're not talking, I mean, the man like, hold on, bro. I was like, I think I was second team All-Pro, and I did make the Pro Bowl again. And then you telling me you want me to come in. My play hadn't slipped.
No. So what are the odds? Somebody will pay him way more money.
Of course.
Yeah, and he played. Every time I turned on the Rams last year, I saw him all over the field. In fact, he looked like their best player on defense. He had a better year, I thought, than Aaron Donald had, to my eye, because he just kept flashing everywhere.
AD got hurt when he tried to play on that ankle.
He did.
And he finally shut it down. And then you remember that game he played against Seattle. Now, maybe that was because that was Seattle. But he looked like the Bobby Wagner Bowl.
He did. Even in the Thursday night game that Baker Mayfield walked in the door and stole at the end, he was all over the field.
Yes.
He was the reason that the visiting Raiders, it was at SoFi. They only scored like 16 points. It was 17-16, right? Well, he was the reason. He's really good.
Right.
He would be a huge addition, because I don't know if my team's going to lose Leighton Vander Esch in free agency. It's highly possible. I don't know what. They just wait until the dregs are left, and then they say, well, we could get him for $5 million, him for $6 million, and then we'll be cool.
But before they escape, the 49ers, I mean, Nick Bosa's in his fifth year. Obviously, they picked up his option. It's going to take a king's ransom to sign him. He's going to be well north of $100+ million. And you're probably looking at somewhere around 80 to 90 million guaranteed, I mean, at the time of signing. And so to invest that kind of money, and you look at Sam Darnold now, I don't really know, but he's probably looking at it like, hold on. I see some of these guys that go and play in that offense, Skip, and they put up good numbers. And I know I've got more talent than those guys.
Correct.
Let me see what they got going on there. Maybe I can learn a thing or two about how to play the game of football, to play the position of quarterback.
Okay, I got it. But my Cowboys keep telling us that we have to be physically responsible. We have to be frugal here because we've got some big fish coming up that we have to sign.
You do.
Okay, but here's my problem with that whole mentality. Yeah, Mike is coming up. I love Mike.
CD.
Okay, CD's coming up. I love CD.
And
Javon Diggs is coming up. I like Diggs. I don't love him, but I like him. And yet, what if those three exactly won for me? They beat Brady at Brady.
Yeah,
I'll
they
give you
did
that. They did that. Okay, way to go. And then what happened? And since they've been Dallas Cowboys, they've won what? Well, they've won next to nothing.
Well, they say you pay the quarterback, not pay us.
Okay, well, that's exactly what happened. And I kept saying, you can't. You said, pound the table. Pay the man.
You got to pay him.
Yeah, because you wanted him overpaid, and you got your wish. Overpaid, stuck.
Skip, the thing, what you do is that the prices kept going up. You saw the prices going up, and you talk about hold the line, Jerry, hold the line. Well, so if you ever step across the line, you're gonna have to pay him 40, 50 million more than you would have paid him had you just paid him 3 years ago.
Okay, I hear all that, but I love the teams that plunge. 2 years ago, the Rams just said, F them picks, we plunge, and they won the Super Bowl.
But that ain't Jerry.
Okay, that ain't Jerry. The 49ers, they keep making plunge moves where, listen, it's just Javon Hargrave, but it is Javon Hargrave.
Right.
I know he's not a huge name, but he's a big piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, but he's a preeminent defensive player, yeah.
He's preeminent.
Yeah.
He's high quality, where you plug him into the middle of what's already a ferocious defensive front, and you say, look at this.
Well, you know, sometimes, Skip, people just look at the name. Well, he ain't Aaron Donald. Well, hell, who is other than Aaron Donald? But he's a heck of a player. I mean, 11 sacks for an interior D lineman? Guys get double-digit sacks in that position because they're constantly getting double-teamed, and plus you got to play the run. It's not an easy position.
Okay, I got it. I love what Miami has done because I'm not a Tua guy, but still.
They're going for it.
You keep going for it, and you keep going for it. I love what the Chicago Bears did. They signed 2 linebackers. One of them's really good. Is he Roquan Smith? Probably not.
No.
But they're doing things. Again, I would have stood pat and taken Bryce Young. But my point is they keep plunging out there. They keep doing this and signing this. And all of a sudden, it's going to matter. It's going to help. Where my team just says, we'll wait on the draft. And then we'll slowly develop these players. And sometimes they've been very good at the draft. But it doesn't produce kabooms. You know, it doesn't, like, you don't, there are times you walk in your locker room and you just looked around and you said, we got this.
Yeah, but sometimes, Skip, you have to plunge. You look at what the Chiefs did. They traded for Kadarius Toney.
They did.
He made the play, the punt return.
It was huge.
That was huge. McKinnon, Jared McKinnon.
They're constantly.
Yes, Juju. a big third down catch, and he drew the crucial pass interference.
Okay. All right. They keep going getting this defensive back for a while. It was Honey Badger who helped them and got them.
They went and got a Frank Clark.
They went and got a Frank Clark. Chris Jones, they've got the guy now. Okay?
Yeah, they drafted CJ.
Yeah, they did. So the point is, my team just keeps sort of slowly but surely, and it's not enough because the only plunge he was trying to pull off was for Odell at the end of last year, and Odell just wasn't ready.
Right.
That was a plunge type of a move.
So what if they sign Odell and miss out on Wagner? You okay with that?
It just feels like you got to strengthen the strength right now because the strength is all on the other side of the ball.
Well, that's what the 49ers did.
And the unofficial head coach of my team is Dan Quinn. I don't care what you say, and I'm still stuck with the notion at a time that offense wins, my team will go as far as my defense carries it. If you could put B. Wags back into the Dan Quinn defense, he's got a lot left in the tank.
But unless they're historic, they're not going to be able to overcome the NL play of Dak.
They're going to have to be historic. They're going to have to be like Ray Lewis type historic, right?
Because he puts the ball in harm's way far too much.
He just does. And he did all last year, and it finally haunted me and got me in the playoff game. Way to go.
Skip, maybe your blood pressure's a little lower now that Dallas's season is over. I sure hope so. And I tell you what, those Bears, they are spending some money. Woo.
Yeah.
They've got it to burn, though.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.